Hello, and welcome to the Punk Rock Libertarians Podcast, episode 511. Tonight, I'm here with Alex, a.k.a. MC Noda 300.
Good to see you guys.
What's up, man? And then I've got James Babb, FEMA Hunter.
So good to be here.
And later on, we will be joined by Tatiana Morose.
All right.
So how's it going, guys? We were not on yesterday, last week. So we've got to make up for lost time. But I think we missed a lot of shit. So got a lot of catching up to do.
I know. It seems like, it just seems like just yesterday, like the world was almost whole. And today, like things have just been crumbling this week. So
yeah, almost whole. Yeah.
Yeah. What do we miss?
Oh man. So yeah, the one thing that someone told me about that I was embarrassed that I didn't yet know about was this Kamala teleprompter thing. Because first of all, I had noticed that, and let me pull this up, but I had noticed that election betting odds, I dropped it. Electionbettingodds.com has completely flipped as far as who is leading. Let me pull this up. So right now they have Trump at 54%.
Whoa,
that's a huge
Harris at 45%.
Huge.
Yeah, it's nearly a 10-point spread.
But does that put her out of cheating range? I think is the question. I figured the cheating range is like 10 to 15%.
Yeah. Yeah. If she was at like 5%, like that's a hard sell.
They're desperate.
Well, I know for certain they are desperate because CNN reported I saw some kind of headline about how the race is neck and neck, right? So if CNN's calling it neck and neck, that means that they know that she's way behind.
Yeah. I mean, it's still 54 to 45. It's not.
Who's betting for other? And have you ever looked at the people that you can see like people's bets? And sometimes people they bet on every single loser candidate in that spread. I guess they're like trying to hedge their bet, or maybe there's a betting strategy where if you pick one of these outsiders and you may get lucky.
Yeah.
Is Chase Oliver in one of these outsiders?
Oh, people aren't. I mean, come on. People are betting their own money.
Yeah. I mean, you at least want to have some chance, right?
But who? Yeah. What outsiders would you put money on besides these two?
But it's like Michelle Obama or
Big Mike.
Ron DeSantis, $45 million.
What? Why?
Well, they probably
some of this
got
was
their bets earlier on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
Okay.
nobody sold
That
those
makes sense.
positions because they're so worthless.
Yeah, like I don't know how we can add. Here we go. So
that's a good point. Shannon has a good point. The Miami Herald had an article a few months back how the mail-in numbers were super low, meaning like more people are going to vote in the polls.
No, that just means they haven't fabricated all the mail-in votes yet. They appear around 2:30 in the morning, and they're going to be suddenly unloaded. Don't worry.
See, there was a point where it was like kind of like, oh, we don't know, and then
that what I'm hoping is that these betting odds are actually factoring in the fraud, right? Because these people, like when you bet, you're not betting on who's going to get the most votes or who you want to win. You're betting on who you think's actually going to win, despite the deep state, despite the tech oligarchy, despite the media, bias. Shouldn't those be baked into these numbers? Do you think?
I mean, assuming that we have intelligent people putting their money in, which I would assume that's mostly the case. Yeah, you would have to factor in all possible factors, right?
Look at the numbers on the size of the betting. Is that really $544 million?
That's what it says.
Holy shit!
That's what it says.
Now, if people pay attention to this, and I think it's kind of just fringe like that's really pay attention to this, right? Or aren't most people looking for the New York Times poll or something?
I wouldn't say fringe, but I would say, yeah, like the mainstream is not going on this website.
Well, how long is it before people are like, the whole idea is just to manipulate these results, and people dump 500 million
Just-
of your Ukraine money into Kamala Harris to make it look like she's a shoo-in.
Yeah, that's a good point, right? I mean, if
Hmm.
they're going to try to manipulate Bitcoin and gold, and why wouldn't they try to manipulate this if they believe it's actually going to influence anything?
Exactly.
But I mean, but you're not. But like, you're not. If you're an actual voter, an actual person that's going out and voting, one of those people, like, you're not being persuaded by this, right? You're not like, I need to go out and vote for the winner. Like,
I think a lot of people do want to pick the winner.
that is true.
I
There are a
swear
lot
to
of
God.
dumbasses like that.
I mean, let's
that
face it.
brag. The people that brag, like, I picked the last 4 winners.
I mean, first of all,
Like, it's
You
a
met
horse-
all,
people
you're
that say
starting-
that?
you're starting with a self-selecting
Wow.
group just by being voters. They're going to be below average intelligence, completely uninformed, right? Like delusional, like, right? So you start with that group.
right.
Good luck. Yeah. Who knows what strategy is? They're like, oh, I mean, everybody says like, oh, I'd like to have a beer with that person. I'll get my vote. Or
Yeah.
oh, he promised to throw more money at Medicare. Okay, I'll give him, like some kind of welfare from me or my kind,
Mhm.
or I don't know.
Abortion.
But you know what? Most votes, remember, it's those little old ladies, and they get off the bus. Like the Republicans, like all the parties have their shuttle, and they pick up Mrs. Jones. Here you go, Mrs. Jones. And they hand her the card. These are the people to vote for. She's like, okay, Sonny, thank you. And they go in and just vote straight party every single time.
Yeah.
To save Social Security.
Yeah, I mean, it's ostensibly just a fight for, the undecided voter, or the independent voter. That's really ostensibly like what the target is, right?
I think,
Assuming
well,
any of
that's-
this is real, right?
If you mean that's a euphemism for falsifying mail-in ballots, right? Like to
Yeah.
register illegal aliens to vote, or whatever you have to do, dead people voting, or rigging election machines, or yeah,
dumpsters full of ballots, and
I still think
And
somewhere in there, there's people that think like their get out the vote campaign matters, and they really work that.
yeah.
They're making calls, make sure Mrs. Jones knows it's time to vote. Make sure.
Well, I
she's
think
got
the
a
idea
ride.
is really this whole get out to vote thing is they assume that people, like the people that are going to vote Republican, are already like they're going out there to vote, right? Like they've already got their shit
But think about
scheduled.
the-
Like
think
they've
about
got their
Think
old
about demented old senior citizens.
right. They've got their like senior citizen bus all lined up to pick them up, right? But the people that are going to vote Democrat are going to be the younger people, the college kids,
The bots.
and so it's like, yeah, I need P. Diddy to tell me to go out and vote or
To
die.
rock the vote. Yeah, I need the NFL. Like, how many commercials have you seen
Yeah.
to register to
I need
vote?
like
or-
Gronk. I need Gronk's dumbass to
Hey,
tell me to
Can we
to
play
go get the vax and
video of
vote.
Obama? You saw Obama lecturing black men? Did you see
Yeah.
that video?
It's
Holy
backfiring
crap.
too.
Oh, yeah, I heard.
What
I
a
heard he's getting
condescending
canceled for that.
asshole! Holy crap!
Do we have that here?
I could find it. I just saw the memes. I mean, I did watch it. The audio wasn't the greatest, so I don't know how well it would sound if we do even find it. But yeah, to Baz's point, what
Let's
a
just see
condescending
his smug.
prick.
Hear his smug tone and his
Mhm.
just like complete. Like he just doesn't care.
Yep.
Like
And the fact that you're going to lecture, I mean, yeah, it's backfired. It is backfiring because when you see on TikTok and Twitter and many other social media, you see reaction from black voters that are like go fuck yourself, Obama. Like seriously, like, you're going to tell me, and a lot of them were like, I wasn't
Did he
planning
basically
on
just
voting.
say you ain't black?
Yeah,
that
more or
whole thing?
less, kind of giving them the Biden "you ain't black" to reiterate it, and a lot of the reaction was like, you know what, I wasn't even planning on voting, but you know what, because you came out and were a condescending prick, I'm fucking voting Trump. Fuck you, this is backfiring. I think we're seeing, maybe not right away, but I think the Democrat Party's done. Not in this election cycle, but give it another cycle or two if we still have a country, even if we have an election
but
this year.
remember their strategy though. The strategy is low T voters, right?
Mhm.
Right, which they've established through clinical studies, right? That the lower your testosterone, the more blue you vote. Okay, so you've got all these women
It's science.
voters.
Trust the science.
It's like abortion, 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 abortion. I don't care. I don't want to hear about a genocide. I just, I need to be able to kill babies. Like that is, I swear that is half the voters out there.
I don't care about the actual babies being murdered in these foreign adventures. I just want to hypothetically murder my potential child. And it's like, man, you're 48, 50 years old, fat, overweight, childless cat lady. No one's going to fuck you. Okay. So let's just, no one's fucking you. No one, in order to get pregnant, someone has to have intercourse with you. And no one's having intercourse with any of you motherfuckers. How about that? Let's start there.
Well, there's an interesting thing in Maryland going on right now where you've got Larry Hogan, who's like the former governor, Republican, but like essentially a Democrat. He's running for Senate. And then there's this lady, also Brooks, who's a Democrat running for Senate. And they're both trying to like out compete each other on like who is like more pro-abortion.
Yeah, that's all they're talking
like
about.
Hogan's just like, there's these attack ads that are coming at Hogan like he's not pro-abortion because blah, blah, blah. He said this on an interview, blah, blah, blah. And then he's got a commercial with his daughter coming out there saying like he loves killing me. Like, like
he's
really
codify Roe. He's not going to allow the Supreme Court to overrule
and I'm just like
your ability to murder your baby.
I'm like, what a wacky world where you've got this Republican who's just trying to convince everybody he's pro-abortion. Like,
well, it's kind of like, did you hear that there's a quote unquote attack ad on Kamala where they accuse her of being a secret supporter of Palestine, and because she paused 200-pound bombs, right? And this can't stand, right? And they're really like, is this
did
really? What's that?
She did what?
She paused the delivery of some 200-pound or 2,000-pound bombs. I don't know, whatever. Supposedly there's some issue where, I don't know, probably the big guy didn't get his cut fast enough, and they put a pause on it, and this was completely unacceptable. So, but I'm wondering, did Kamala's people put that out to make people think that she's not pro-genocide? I mean, she's secretly pro-Palestinian. That's literally what her supporters will tell you, right? That, oh, she's working behind the scenes to end this. Just don't pay attention to, like, unburdened by her votes that have been, like,
unburdened.
She's secretly on our side.
Do we have the her teleprompter flop clip?
Yeah, let me pull that up.
She unburdened by the votes that have been. That's the thing too.
Will be.
So was this? Oh yes. So this was at this rally. I did, and didn't it like just pause and it froze, right? Teleprompter.
Remember
froze.
his number 32. Today we got 32 days until the election.
Oh no, I don't know what to say. Nervous.
So 32 days.
Oh,
32 days. Okay, we got some business to do. All right.
What drugs is she on?
32 days.
You care to speculate?
And we know we will do it.
I don't mean to drug shame her.
And this is going to be a very tight race until the very end. This is going to be a very tight race until the very end. We are the underdog, and we know we have hard work ahead.
Wait, where's the teleprompter part?
That was it. Apparently it froze, so she was just freestyling there. That's
I mean, I feel like she does that shit all the time because she has nothing to say. Like, she always does that. Teleprompter.
But the way everything she says twice, like, and then says it again backwards. But remember, her base is okay. Not only do you have the abortion people, but you've got the people that have like childlike minds, right? And they would need to be taken care of. They need a mommy figure. They want they have just no understanding of economics. They don't know any of that stuff. So she talks to them like they're a third grade because they have a third grade mentality.
That's
thanks
what I'm
to
saying.
the government schooling.
This just sounds like her normal, coded speech. Like this is her dumb people code, right?
To Shannon's point, I can't believe this is potentially the first woman president. I mean, that is just. Could you imagine? Oh God! I mean, not that it matters, but I mean the fact.
We did have Trump as a president, dude. That's pretty wild.
Well, even go further than that, right? Because like it was very difficult for Obama. Like Obama needed to make sure he had a vice president that was like wouldn't overshadow him. Had to be like stupider than Obama, right? So he got Biden. Biden was like, okay, I need somebody that's not going to overshadow me, and he found Kamala, right? Kamala's like, uh-oh, how can I find somebody even dumber than me? And then he ended up with Tampon Tim. Right? Now, imagine President Tampon Tim, okay? And what a horror. Like,
how far down the hole can we go?
Imagine like the cities will be basically homeless camps. They'll be right, like there'll be like a mandatory gender affirmations. Who knows what horror, right? We're gonna look back at this as the good old days, guaranteed.
Remember that? Yep, it's so true. It's you could look back at what they weren't so bad.
I mean, have our presidents just been getting progressively dumber since like the beginning?
And more evil.
George Washington seems like a pretty
sick and ruthless.
Yeah, but as far as intelligence, Thomas Jefferson, that guy was a genius, right? But like compare like Thomas,
raper.
What?
For a slave raper.
He was a slaver and a rapist, but he was pretty.
We have to overlook that when it comes to presidents, right? If you start ruling out any president being because of their slaving or raping, you don't have much left to work with.
I'm speaking pure intelligence. I'm not making any moral judgment. But just on pure intelligence alone, like just look at this.
The way he wrote.
Yeah, and look what he wrote, and then just look how like over the decades and centuries, like just how stupefied. I feel like it's been sort of escalating in stupefaction. Like it's gone parabolic, really, at this point.
I think this is the government schooling project bearing fruit.
Ooh, could be, yeah.
Yep. 1970 Department of Education, 50 some years of centralized education.
Right.
Dumbing down.
Yeah, before that you had like presidential debates that actually had substance, right? Back in the 60s, 50s, yeah, they're all warmongers and evil and blah blah blah. But as far as just like the content of discussion, but yeah, I guess once the Department of Education took things over,
it was like some semblance of a debate.
Like
it actually seemed like an actual debate. Now
yeah. I'm not saying it was like a formal, like, Robert's rules or whatever the fuck, but
I just think they had two ways to go about it. They said we could keep all of our world domination and evil shit like secret and spend a whole lot of time and energy trying to maintain this like underworld crime syndicate on a global nature, or we could just capture the education system and make people beg for it and do everything out in the open.
Yeah.
It
seems like an easier strategy, right?
Look at what was been revealed by WikiLeaks. Look at what was revealed by Ed Snowden.
And it's all been memory hold. Nobody cares or knows about it.
Exactly. It's like, why would you even be a whistleblower these days? Because you expose something hideous and horrible, and things just go along as normal. Remember the whole Abu Ghraib prison torture, sexual assault, like all those pictures, like this was a big freaking deal. Like
under Cheney, and now both Cheneys are campaigning for Kamala, and Democrats are like, wow, even former Republicans are supporting Kamala, and it's like Dick fucking Cheney.
She thanked Liz Cheney for support of her.
They did a rally together.
They did a rally together. Our country.
Yeah. And just because Jared and I both watch sports ball on Sundays, and the amount of commercials political commercials, which is wild because Maryland's not a swing state, but I guess maybe because the fact that just, right up the road, Pennsylvania, so maybe it's all just coming in but every day, like every other commercial, it's Trump, Kamala, and then locally some politicians. But they were showing a commercial about it was a Kamala commercial, and it was like, Trump is dangerous on foreign policy, former Trump aides, and they had Bolton and some other individual, and like, this is why I support Kamala. And it's like, my God, these people, like, you're going along with the 10, 15 years ago, liberals used to be anti-war. Now it's their, so, but anyways, looks like our guest has jumped in here.
Hey guys.
Hey, Tatiana. Welcome. Babs, take it away. Intro our guest.
Welcome, Tatiana Moroz.
Thank you.
Our one of the most consistent artists of our movement for many, many years.
Thank you.
Even though you're only 23, you've really been at this for a long time, and everybody knows who you are. So, but you got some new projects, and anyway, just wanted to have you on and maybe review the Rage Against the War Machine 2 rally, see what you thought about that. You and Jordan Page look great on that stage.
Thanks for the pictures.
Yeah, unfortunately, there wasn't anyone in the audience, so
very sad.
It looked fantastic.
Yeah, that was the only thing that I think was really a drag. And I feel like even if you look at the Rescue the Republic event the next day, I mean, they had the mega stars of, freedom, and there was only a couple thousand people there. So I was really surprised. And then, you see everybody at the Trump rallies. So I got to say, America, you're kind of sucking right now. Like, everybody only cares about the president and stuff like that. And I just feel like it's a little bit underwhelming. And I think that, I'm here over at Luke Gradowski's house. We just did his podcast, and we were talking about, people are going to revolt, and Elon's going to cut out 80% of the staff. And I'm just like, are you guys freaking kidding me, man? Like, nobody's revolting for anything. These, like, people are just sitting at home eating Fritos and like watching TV and like flipping through and being like, I'm fighting the man. And nobody's really fighting the man because they're not actually showing up for anything. So that was a little disheartening. On the other side, there are people who are really dedicated to the cause, and all the organizers, there's so many people that put in work, all the people that did show up, you guys, I think that was really heartwarming. And, people are just underwhelming. I feel like people are, I don't know. Do you guys think like there's going to be a big revolution if Trumpy doesn't get in? Like, I don't think there's going to be anything. Like, I feel like it has to get about 70% worse for there actually to be any kind of real, genuine action from the people. Not that I would recommend it. We should all be good little slaves. I love it. You guys are also handsome at the FBI and the CIA, just big dick swingers. But I'm just like, I just don't see people making any kind of moves. I think that we're all still asleep, and it's got to really, really hurt for people to take the initiative.
But Tatiana, you haven't heard about these militias in North Carolina going out and hunting FEMA agents?
I did hear a little bit about that, but not enough, apparently. Tell me more.
Well, I don't know. Well, we saw the video of the rotor washing where a Black Hawk helicopter like wiped out an aid station. And we've got all these terrible, terrible complaints about FEMA blocking aid, confiscating supplies, blocking rescue attempts. And people are getting pissed. And some people maybe are taking action in their own hands. I doubt it. But I think what they initially started saying is, oh, this is misinformation that FEMA's not doing a good job. So right away, that's true, right? So we know that's not so. But now they're saying, oh, FEMA had to evacuate, and FEMA can't help these poor people because of their own safety. That's why you're not seeing FEMA. It's your own fault, you stupid rednecks. I think that's the new narrative that they're going with.
Well, it's encouraging to see that people are taking like initiative, and I'm glad that people are seeing that in the ground, right? Like, nobody really had much of a reaction with Hawaii. Everybody was sad, but there wasn't any kind of like action among the people that has really made it into the consciousness. I know that there were people trying to help, and there's people pissed on the ground in Hawaii,
I'm sure
not like
many
here.
people gave money to Oprah Winfrey's charity organization.
She's so great. She's doing such a good job. Her and The Rock definitely need all of her money. So here we are. See, even our audio is getting messed up. They're interfering with our commentary.
FEMA pauses aid in North Carolina amid armed militia threat. See, it's those white supremacists, probably Trump supporters. Look, there's Trump's picture. They put Trump on
the fact that the president.
So where is the evidence of this actual? I don't.
Oh, come on. No, it's going to be just like sources say.
Yeah.
There's no evidence presented here that anybody's hunting. Anyone's on the hunt.
Well, I don't know. I mean, okay, that's one small little example, but I think the pain's gonna have to come. Although I was pretty impressed to see Margaret Taylor Greene, saying, the stuff about the space lasers and like the weather being controlled. People were pretty pissed about that, but I thought that it was pretty spot on. I was like, oh, you need to talk to Chris and Megan.
You're going with the Jewish space laser theory?
I mean, I don't know if it's Jewish space laser, but I think that there's definitely like weather modification. I mean, I don't even know why it has to be Jewish. Can it just be regular? Like, I think that's why they discredit it. They're like, oh, because it's Jewish. It's like, no, it's just a space laser. I don't know who's behind it. Like, maybe it's Shlomo, maybe it's Juwan.
Is this to take out Trump voters in North Carolina? What's the agenda?
Oh, God. As if voting Israel in the first place. I can't take it anymore. Can these elections please be over? Because I feel like it's just such a grift. And so much money and so much effort goes into these elections. And then everybody just goes right back to sleep afterward. And they say, okay, Daddy Trump is in charge now. We can go back to sleep. And
that's
then,
when
like,
you get gun control.
Like, I mean, man, if it's Mamala, everybody's got to move. I don't know what we're going to do because we're going to go to the FEMA camps and I'm not really into that. All of a sudden they're going to find a budget for FEMA.
Yeah, suddenly when it's time for like mass coffins or who knows what. But now to me, this looks like the best news for Ross I've ever seen. Like
I agree with that. That's the only little like tiny little like light in the darkness. Yeah.
I mean, who knows what horrors Trump will bring in with him, right? We know it'll be horrible, but just the possibility of getting Ross out.
At least Ross might be able to experience them from outside of the bars.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we'll have to see what happens with all this. I do think the Ross thing is good, but the problem is that let's say Trumpy gets in, right? All of his little minions and all of his little worshipers are just going to allow him to do whatever. I mean, look at this is controversial, but Maha, like, I don't know. I'm not so excited about Make America Healthy Again. That sounds like some commie bullshit to me. That sounds like, oh, we're going to give you a little carrot. We'll stop poisoning you with these vaccines, but then we're going to give you these other chemicals because my friend gave me money. I mean, give me an effing break. The whole thing is just a total delusion. And I feel like I keep coming on these shows and everybody's drinking the hopium. And I'm like, listen, losers, this ain't going to happen. Sorry.
This isn't one of those shows.
This is not that show.
Good. I'm glad that I'm among like
this show is wholly black pilled. So
yeah.
No need to worry.
I mean, maybe there's some kind of white pill in there. I think that there are
the white pill is we talk about a lot on this show, but the white pill is your community, right? Starting a community, being involved in a community, doing shit on the local level because
sats, minor sabotage.
Yeah.
I mean, no, I'm sorry.
Living, buying an island up in Maine, things like that, because I mean, on a national, global, whatever level, like nothing's really feasible at this point. So you got to start. You got to start in your own backyard.
So I'm actually singing at the Monerotopia in a couple weeks, and I haven't really listened to Aaron Day speak much, but Aaron Day was just talking about how completely unrealistic the 80% people, being eliminated from the government is as like a practical matter. So I don't know what everybody's going to think. Honestly, there could just be some kind of like a crazy thing, they'll be like, oh, aliens, like, oh, we got blown up. Sorry. It's not our fault. we spread too much freedom and that's why they're killing us now. Like there could be like a big thing that could make it so they've got a lot of excuses to take away our freedoms. And if it was Trump that was in charge, people would just go along with it.
Well, he did it before successfully. I mean, he's the one that elevated Fauci. He's the one that did Operation Warp Speed, right? Like none of that stuff could have happened without him. And he still brags about it.
Yeah, I
It's
know.
not
And
like-
that's the thing. Well, so he's supposed to go on to Joe Rogan and like, I don't know. I mean, am I supposed to be excited about that? Because he's never actually done anything about the vax. Like he's just like, oh, it's so great. I love it. I'm such a good daddy. And then everybody's supposed to be so grateful. But I mean, Rogan was pretty against it. And I think that it's just so obvious. I wonder if in a longer format show,
He'll get called out on it. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Is Joe Rogan is he gonna like go easy on him? Probably. I mean,
I'm sure there's going to be conditions to even do the interview, you know?
Yeah, probably.
I mean, Rogan's never really that much of an attack dog, anyways.
No, he's kind of
Yeah.
like
He's
Like-
just like,
But he
oh, let's
will
watch
ask-
some videos about
Like,
like,
He'll ask a
little
hard
bit.
question though, and he'll follow it
yeah,
up.
yeah,
and
he
he'll
will, but
stay
he's
on
not
top
he's
of
not set out like he's not a fucking 60 minutes like
Well, I
that's
don't
not this setup, right?
that good either.
Well, yeah, I mean, but ostensibly like that's but he's not really, that's not his format. But I don't know, we'll see.
Did you guys
that
enjoy
confirmed?
Did you guys enjoy the Howard Stern interview with Kamala?
God. Did you actually listen to it?
Oh, no, I just saw
Or
the
hear
saw the
clips?
relevant memes and I got the gist
Wow.
of it. But
Wait, there's a Kamala Howard Stern, but he's like a dick sucker anyway. So like, who cares?
well,
I mean,
this he's taken it to a new level. Like
no.
he
I don't wanna
gives her
watch
a
that.
Total tongue bath, and they cover important topics about what breakfast cereal she eats, the kind
Oh,
of
God.
Doritos she eats,
Wow.
what kind of exercise she does. Okay,
Wow.
this was the worst embarrassment. I mean, someone like Howard Stern has had a career of I guess triumphs, but basically just a tumbling like fall into nothingness.
They have a file on
And
him or
this is
something.
a whole new level
Yeah.
of embarrassment for him.
He was
The
at
fact-
Diddy parties.
yeah, ever since he came out against Ron Paul, I'm like, F this loser. Like, I'm not interested in
He
him.
did? I don't even recall that.
Yeah, back in 2012, he was ragging on Dr. Paul, and I was just like, whatever, I don't care what you have to say anymore. He did used to have some really good celebrity interviews, but then now in the context of like all the celebrities just being like kid fuckers, like, I don't know, it's not as good. Sorry for all the cussing, but I feel like you guys
No,
are okay with it.
How
I try
dare
to keep
you?
it clean for the kids, but
Yeah, the kids.
yeah, time they learned.
This is an 18 over show.
Yeah, but the fact that by going back here real quick, the fact that he had to address in his press conference, this was North Carolina and reacting to both the hurricanes.
Now the claims are getting even more bizarre. Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene, a congresswoman of Georgia, is now saying the federal government is literally controlling the weather. We're controlling the weather. It's beyond ridiculous.
Uh-oh.
It's got to stop.
Oh no.
Moments like this, there are no red or blue states. There's one United States of America where neighbors are helping neighbors. Volunteers and first responders are risking everything, including their own lives, to help their fellow Americans.
To confiscate
State, local,
those
and
relief
federal
supplies.
officials are standing side by side. Let me repeat. No one should make the American people question whether their governments will be making sure that this is acting on strikes. They'll be there.
What the fuck?
They
did you
will.
just say?
Wait,
Now the
making
claims
sure
are
they're
getting even
what?
more
Acting
bizarre.
straight?
He had 20
Congresswoman
seconds
Marjorie
of
Taylor
coherence.
Greene, a congresswoman of Georgia, is now saying the federal
I
government is literally
think
Wait a
it's
controlling
minute.
the
repeating,
weather.
dude.
Yeah.
I didn't believe the weather control story, but now that I've heard it from Biden, like,
Yeah.
how can
Right.
like I have to give this a reconsideration.
Well,
Yeah,
okay.
that's the only point where I'm like, hey, maybe this might be true.
Well, they
Well-
have reasons for it. I mean, they've been like, I think it's perfectly reasonable. That
I mean, there is some level of geoengineering, right? Like
Well,
they
cloud
can see,
seeding.
see
Cloud seeding's been
clouds.
done for like 100 years.
Yeah, but
There's nothing
generating
mysterious about that.
a hurricane with the power of like 5 megaton bombs, that seems less likely to me.
Well,
I don't
here's,
know.
That's a physics minor. I don't see that as probable.
it's
but who knows?
Yeah, I gotta blow it up a little bit more. But here's
Most of the people that are pushing the weather modification theories are just completely clueless and just one step from flat earthers. unfortunately. I mean,
well.
Oh,
there
you
is
mean
nice
the
ball
dude? The
bat.
dude at
Another
the
example is the array
Here,
of
listen to that.
technologies, often referred to collectively as geoengineering. that potentially could help reverse the warming effects of global climate change.
Council on Foreign Relations.
One that
and
has
former
gained my
CIA
personal
director.
attention is stratospheric aerosol injection, or SAI, a method of seeding the stratosphere with particles that can help reflect the sun's heat in much the same way that volcanic eruptions do. An SAI program could limit global temperature increases, reducing some risks associated with higher temperatures,
This is
and
hardly
providing the world
news, right?
economy
People
additional
have been talking
time
about
to
blotting out the
transition
sun.
from
Bill
fossil
Gates.
fuels.
Yeah.
Forever.
They're talking
This
about like
process is
firing
also
nuclear
relatively
bombs at
inexpensive.
the sun, right?
The National Research Council estimates that a fully deployed SAI program would cost about $10 billion yearly.
See, it's all about
As promising
good
as it may
contracts,
be,
okay?
moving forward on
Shut up and
SAI
spend the
would
money.
also raise a number of challenges for our government and for the international community. On the technical side, greenhouse gas emission reductions would still have to accompany SAI to address other climate change
All
effects.
right, we get
Anyways,
it.
they're talking about it. But I mean, the fact that it's
Yeah,
out
I mean,
there.
like I said, there is
out
there
there.
is some level of geoengineering. I don't think that they're creating hurricanes.
HARP.
And
What are they
these
doing at HARP,
hurricanes-
Jared? What are they doing at HARP?
Like I
Why are
said,
there HARP
they might be
stations all over around the world?
influencing some weather somewhere, right? Like they can see.
What do you think the
clouds.
Northern Lights were last week?
Yeah, that was super sketchy.
Solar
I'm glad
radiation.
that I didn't see them. They looked really beautiful, but it
The
seemed
firmament
real
cracking.
weird.
The fact that they said it happens every 11 years or 10 years, because it's like a cycle.
17 years.
I don't remember it 17
Like
years
10
ago.
or 11 years. The solar cycle.
I don't remember 10 years ago coming this, like seeing the Northern Lights as far south than the Southern.
No way. That's either the Northern Lights. They're not in Virginia.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
Like-
it has
Yes,
to
it
have some. It happens, but it has to have certain other factors in play for it to be that
iPhones.
apparent.
HARP.
iPhones, yeah,
iPhones.
exactly.
iPhones that do long exposures and
that
make
enhance
like
it, yeah.
much more intense, right?
Yeah.
So,
Fair. But I don't know. They're controlling the weather. They're manipulating it. It's been declassified. The Air Force has done it's declassified documents. They did it in World War II. They did it in Vietnam. They did it in Vietnam. During the CIA did it in Vietnam to like
cloud
wash.
seeding. Cloud seeding was done in like the 30s and stuff.
Yeah,
Like,
they know how to do it. They could do
it's
it.
not an advanced technology at all, and it doesn't create hurricanes.
Yeah,
Well, I
I
mean,
mean, hurricanes is a much more complex system of,
You don't think that
And
they?
then you
know
got to
how
control the
to
path of
know?
the hurricane because I guess you're trying to take out Florida. Like you got to make sure it doesn't like sweep up and
Yeah, what if you accidentally hit a blue state?
yeah,
You know, like
Or Nancy Pelosi's summer house.
yeah,
no.
or somehow mix it up to DC. Like God forbid.
Well, that'd be terrible.
Nothing
But
ever
you know what-
happens in DC. I don't know why. It's so confusing.
Yeah,
We have had hurricanes
rallies don't
before.
happen either. I think going back
Yeah,
to that,
rallies. Yeah, rallies are hard.
going back to that, I think, and I spoke to a couple of people at the rally. I think people are legitimately scared to come to DC or don't want to. Case in
I'm
point,
included.
two reasons why. Like one,
Well, stop being a coward, though.
you can't carry, or you can, it's a little extra sketchy. Number two, going back to January 6th, I mean, we saw it, Tatiana and all Jared and I were in the Maryland, DC area. They literally had billboards all around this area for basically to snitch on people. If you know anybody that would participate in January 6th, here's the FBI tip line. I think a lot of people are just like, I don't really want to go to DC. I'd rather not. So
Yeah, it's kind of a hellhole and it has a bad vibe. It's such a beautiful city too. Just like, gross inside and like on the inside, it's just disgusting. Yeah, I mean, I interviewed a guy from January 6th. He didn't even do anything bad. They put him in jail for 34 months. He got scurvy. I mean, it was wild, the amount of torture that these people are going through. But I mean, what people don't understand, it's like people, I guess they would rather just get drafted instead of going to an anti-war rally. I mean, what the hell are they thinking? It's people are losers.
Or I think it's also fair to say, like, what good will this do? Right? It seems like, I mean, it literally feels kind of like pissing in the wind. I mean, when you see the size of the military industrial complex, it just seems like there's just no effort is going to be adequate enough.
Well, that goes back to what I'm saying about you can find people to be part of your community, right? Like you can find people that you can network with at events like these because those are the people that are actually motivated to do shit.
And that's what I like about it too, is meeting other people, even if it's not a lot. Like at least you can.
It's just to get another podcast guest. You know?
Yeah. I mean, I got to see Max Blumenthal again. Like who to me is like one of the the hero journalists of our generation.
He's very good. I agree.
I mean, and so it's not all lost on these kind of events, but I just feel like what's the point of going to DC? To get somebody's attention? Like whose attention?
Nobody good. That's the thing. Like there's a lot of risk right now. But this is why I feel like when people say, "Oh, there's going to be a revolution," I'm like, "No, there's not."
No.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're afraid to set foot in a major city, like, what do you like? How are you going to start a boogaloo? Like, I'm not going into Baltimore because I'm scared. Like, how are you going to start a boogaloo? Like,
say what you will about Adam Kokesh. He crossed the bridge with a shotgun. Okay, like, where's that spirit today?
Where is that?
For all of his lameness, I do feel like that was pretty cool.
That was pretty based. I mean, I was
but also ballsy and somewhat admirable.
Kind of fool.
There was a lot of conversations. I mean, I was at the Ron Paul, the rally that he had with a lot of veterans. That 2012, I guess.
I sang that. That was my first rally.
You did?
I sang at the troop support Ron Paul.
Yeah, I think I
sing there. It was super cool. It was my best day ever. I met Amy Allen that day.
Yeah, that was a good time.
The Fedstock. Remember Fedstock?
Oh, that was fun. Wait, was that the one that was out in Pennsylvania?
Yeah, in Philly, Amy Allen was there.
Oh, I never saw Amy Allen.
I swear you were part of that. Don't you remember? Or we did Fedstock and Fedstock 2. Like,
I don't know. I remember the one time I met Amy Allen because she was just such an influence on me. And did you guys know that she's totally wiped away everything of herself on the internet? It's really crazy. Like if you go searching for example, she did that wild interview with Alex Jones where she talks about getting beaten up and all that. And just anything, even in articles interviewing her, she never says Ron Paul. She's just totally, completely killed that part of herself, which, I mean, she served the cause well enough. Like, who am I to judge? But it was a little sad and also a bit intimidating in that it was like, oh, wow. Well, this hardcore girl who got beaten up basically almost died for her beliefs. And now she just kind of like, that's how overwhelming the powers that be were with her. So that's very sad to me. I love.
How's her music career going?
It's going great.
So maybe that's
part of the Illuminati.
Maybe that's the price you pay.
I don't know, but I'm gonna actually. I guess I'm just gonna announce it. I'm gonna cover one of her songs, and it's gonna be good. I played it for Lynn over the other day. She was digging it.
Oh, good.
I wasn't sure if it could go into like a acoustic guitar vibe, but I think it's gonna be really good. People are gonna like it a lot. So. The original reason why we were going to have me on the show was because I have this event I'm doing in Miami called the Counterparty. It was supposed to be this weekend, but because of the storms and everything, we delayed it to January 25th to 26th. So that's why I'm just kind of letting the cat out of the bag that I'm going to do this song because I don't want to wait until then. But yeah, so that's going to be good. And I don't know, hopefully people will be over the Counterparty.
Yeah.
It's an event. It's a 2-day event, and it's basically focused on voluntary solutions outside of voting for a more peaceful world. So we've got homeschooling, we've got permaculture, we've got like security on the internet level, like self-security, right? Protection of yourself. I don't know. We're even going to have like a love show. Of course, we're going to have some Bitcoin and some, crypto stuff as well.
What about some punk rock libertarians?
Yeah, you guys are hopefully going to be there, I'm assuming, right?
January, right?
January to 26. So this way everybody
in
can
Miami
get ready. Which Miami is like a nice place to visit, especially in January.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. I mean, right now people are still kind of warm for the summer, but I think by January, people are going to be like, I got to get out of here. And hopefully we'll be over this stupid illusion that the government is going to be our savior, right? Because that's what's so annoying about this season. In 2016, I was fortunate enough to not believe in the state and voting and stuff anymore. So I didn't cry. It was nice. I didn't have to get all uptight about, Trump versus Hillary. Oh, it's so important. Most important election of our lives. So I do think this year it is good to vote because you've got, look, it's looking a little dicey. I'll take Trump over Kamala any day. and we've got Ross on the line. I'm surprised that she didn't free Ross or Joe Biden. Sorry, since he's such a great president, he's totally in charge, 100%. Like, I feel like they could have done something around that, and so I don't know. Like, they don't want to take that opportunity because that would neutralize a little bit of Trumpy's power. But I don't know.
Yeah.
Do you guys think?
Let's face it. There's a whole bunch of things they could do to not be so completely horrible, right?
Yeah, they are pretty bad.
They could come out against genocide. They could come out
God
against
forbid.
World War
No,
III.
that's anti-Semitism.
Right? They could come out as pro-justice.
None of that's going to help them win, though. But freeing Ross might help them because, as Tatiana said, it's going to take away some of Trump's momentum.
But I think it's way too late for that. I think but before they even considered the strategy, all that money had been donated to the Trump campaign. Maybe. I don't know.
Or they just don't value. They don't see a higher value in it.
Were these same people who donated to the Trump campaign? Would they be willing to also, like, if somebody approached them from the Kamala campaign, be like, hey, we'd like to support Ross too. What do you got for us? Would they kick in for her?
Well, I mean, you know what she did? She put out her crypto plan today, and it's like only for Black men. It's like the weirdest. Yeah, no, like that's literally it. First of all, she wants to give Black men and Black entrepreneurs a forgivable $20,000 loan. Nothing says I'm not racist by saying, listen, you losers, I know you lose your money. Here's 20 grand. You could just piss it away. I mean, come on. It's so embarrassing. And so, and so she's saying like, oh, we have to make crypto more equitable for Black men. I'm like, what the f- are you talking about, lady? This has nothing to do with any kind of racial issue. The whole point of Bitcoin is the opposite of that. So I don't think that any
Kamala coin. Kamala coin. It's coming.
Well, there's a Trump coin now. And he's
Coconut
actually
coin.
promoting it. It's bad. I don't know why he's doing it.
I don't follow meme coins.
Well, I don't either, but it's like, X gives you kind of like a curated feed, and I guess they think I need to know about that. But I feel like that's a really bad move. I mean, look, I'm the original shitcoiner with Tatiana Coin, which made an album. It wasn't like a rug pull or something, right? And it's actually, I'm still doing like Tatiana Coin stuff to raise for my next record. But I mean, I don't think that Trump, I just feel like giving Trump like a Casasius coin. I'm like, why? Why does he need a Casasius coin? Like, he's a really rich guy.
He's a transaction guy.
Useful?
You want Ross out? It's a transaction. You pay the
I
toll.
think he got more than one Casasius.
Well, what about his like insurance thing? Did you see that shit?
No.
Where he was like, oh, the hurricane's about to hit. All residents of South Florida, the hurricane's about to hit. Go on my website, TrumpINS.com, and buy flood insurance now.
Wow.
This is
he's
fucking
probably
real.
The one, you know what? That
100%.
means he's behind the weather control, right?
Yeah,
So he can sell-
We were blaming the Jews the whole
It's
time.
It's mounted on top of Trump Tower. There's a laser up there.
Oh man. Well, I don't know. I hope things get a little bit better. It'd be really nice to have like the future promised by Trump. If somebody really came in and got rid of the vaccines, got rid of the Red 7,
but that's not what he's talking about.
I know.
He's never said anything about doing any of that stuff.
Well, Maha is supposedly about that. Like the Make America again.
This is the sheepdog strategy. This is how they bring people in, right? It's like, see, he talks about medical freedom because this is an important issue. He talks about saving the food supply. This is an important issue. Does Trump share these values? Nobody knows or cares. He certainly didn't demonstrate these values when he was in office, and we have no reason to suspect that he's going to do anything to improve the food supply or fix the FDA. I mean, RFK Jr. thinks he's going to get in there and fix it, and maybe Elon Musk is going to help him improve government efficiency. Like these people are completely delusional, right? They're not fixing any of this crap.
No, but also like Elon takes his money from the government. He's like, I'm going to cut government spending. I'm like, are you going to cut it to you too? Like, what do you mean?
Cut your own carbon credits and military contracts into space.
Yeah, that's what somebody was like, oh, well, he has carbon credits. And I brought this up earlier. I'm like, yeah. He's like, oh, he's get carbon credits and military contracts. I'm like, yeah, so basically tax dollars. Like, what are you talking about? He's like a big grifter from that perspective. He apparently subsidizes quite a bit of his business, and they say that, oh, he's such a great businessman. Maybe he is. I don't know. I don't care about Elon, but I'm sick and tired of everybody acting like he's Lord and Savior
Well,
too.
hold on a second. He is our favorite oligarch around here.
Your favorite.
Could we play that SpaceX video just to remind people who we're talking about here? Because if anybody saw this booster landing, it's just so astounding.
It's CGI, folks.
Engineering.
He says
can't
good
get beyond the
things.
firmament.
Not totally worthless, but like, come on, man.
This is absolutely incredible. It really is.
It's CGI. You can tell it's fake because it looks so real.
13 engines. We're now down to 3 Raptor engines. We can see those chopsticks now
Fake crowd noise.
Holy cow.
You can see the flat earth behind it.
I don't know if you can even imagine how huge that thing is. It is gigantic.
So is that fake footage? I don't even know. Like when he had that car in space, I don't know if that was ever real either.
Everybody could see this. Okay.
Okay,
Ooh,
well, I
I
don't know.
did.
Attention to what he's
On the
doing.
interweb.
Alex was like, I wasn't there.
It wasn't there.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess let's just say, okay, it's a hoax. Yeah.
Were people filming it?
No, I think it's
Impressive.
real.
That looks cool.
But I mean, is that Elon doing it, or is it him allocating capital very well to make that happen? You know?
Well, I'm sure he's not personally out there like designing control fins and stuff, but
Right.
he did it. Right. However, whatever he got his funds, whatever. And then he comes out with his robo taxi and robo bus. Like he really wants to take over the future. I'm thinking like of all the oligarchs, he's most likely to have his own droid army first.
Yeah. He's the
personally like
Skynet.
I
Can't
don't
wait.
know. This guy seems like, oh, he's all our friend now, and then things could get old. I mean, he says some really great things at different times.
He's completely dangerous because I mean, as awesome as like Starlink is, it's a miracle to bring communications to billions of people globally that have been cut off from global markets and information. It's an astounding feat. But guess what? Like he raises the rate like every year, goes up by like 20%. It's going to be a global monopoly on information. And then, he'll be long gone. And this network of a sole provider will be this central point of communication that it's just a matter of time before this.
Yeah, but other people can launch satellites.
Yeah, but do you know how many satellites he's already got up? Like, good luck catching up.
Yeah, I don't know.
Of these satellites.
He wants chips in the brain. He wants to own everything that we're thinking about, everything that we're talking about. He wants to add in a financial layer. Dude, come on. I mean, just seems like a lot of appetite to take over the world.
He wants to bring Dogecoin to Mars. We can't stand for this.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so here we are, just waiting for the apocalypse. And that's part of the point of the counterparty is like, I want to prepare for the apocalypse. Like, I don't know what I'm going to do on that farm, right? Like, I got to learn some skills. So far, I can sing and I can cook. So that's it. And I think I can spread cheer and goodwill. But like, I mean, is that really that useful in the apocalypse farm? I don't know.
Absolutely.
Learn some man stuff, shoot a gun and pick some cotton or whatever the hell. I don't know. Some kind of.
You know what? I think having you in charge of morale will go a long way. Just like
what is my morale? Yeah. I'm like halfway black belt right now.
You don't want it to be the road, right?
It'll be part of the Joy division.
Okay, I'll join the Joy team.
The Joy team in the camp.
Yeah. Well, I think that the songs would be good. But like me and Jordan, we were talking once, and I'm like, Jordan, I don't want to go to the FEMA camps. He's like, oh, don't worry. We won't. We're not going to go to the FEMA camps. They're not going to take us. I'm like, oh, really? I'm like, that's great. He's like, yeah, they'll kill us. And I'm like, oh.
Yeah, they're not going to let you spread dissidence.
They're not. They don't. Folk heroes are the first to go when the time comes. Unfortunately.
Right.
Well, you know what? Then I don't have to
sell Bob Marley.
People could just like worship me later on. If there's anybody left, they could just look up for him, be like, oh, that girl, she was so cool. We should have given her more money for her gigs instead of just making her play for free everywhere. But now, I'll be like,
there may be an AI Tatiana available at that stage. So
and then she'll just be shilling some crappy product. It'll be like McDonald's of the future.
Some shit coin. They'll like somebody will buy the Tatiana AI model, and then
Well, if it makes me able to record music, like, well, I guess I won't be able to because I'd be dead. I don't think I would want an AI version of me making music of me after I was dead.
No
Like,
one's going to ask your permission. They're just going to scan
Yeah, I
all
mean,
your
you don't have a
video and
choice.
video and songs and interviews.
Did you guys ever watch that that episode of Black Mirror with that artist? What's her face? Miley Cyrus.
Miley Cyrus. Yeah.
It was a really good one, and
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty spot on. Of all the pop stars, I actually think she's the only one that's really talented. I like her, but
Yeah, she's awesome.
yeah, that's because she now sings like country and rock songs. That's why I like her, and she's like less cheesy now. But she actually has a good voice, so I'll give her that. Like Lady Gaga, thumbs down. No way, Jose. She's not for me.
She's a lady.
Maybe.
I
don't know.
I don't know.
Well, I think that what's the most interesting of the trans accusations besides Big Mike is Macron's wife.
Oh, that's legit.
I think it's totally legit.
I've seen some pictures. Yeah.
Whose wife?
Yeah, Macron, the president of France, his wife, who was already a scandal because like she was 37 or some crap and he was 14, but actually she was over 40 and a dude. And basically there were for 3 years they did really in-depth investigations, and these were real. Like, it wasn't like the National Enquirer of France, like they were real journalists, and then they went after the journalists, not for slander or libel or whatever would be considered, saying something fake, but just for completely other reasons. So Candace Owen actually has a lot of really good digestible content around that, and that dude is not a lady. Yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah, I don't know, the great reveal, I guess, right? And now we've got this Tim Waltz news, who allegedly is like, doing
Kid diddler.
funny shit with kids, not funny at all.
But I think there's still a big question about Tim Walz, Touchdown Timmy, they're calling him. What I'm still not clear about is, was he fooling around with underage girls or underage boys, or both?
I think it was boys. And that was the accusation that I read on Ian Carroll. That guy was super cool. I was really happy to meet him. I like his reporting.
Not that it makes it any better of a crime. I'm just wondering which branch of scandal this is going down.
No, he's like a gay pedo. So it sounds like, but we'll find out more, I guess.
I mean, technically,
has this hit the mainstream yet, or
is there any evidence? Not that we need it to call a politician a pedo, but is there any evidence? And like, what is I mean, we've seen these photos of him. Looks like he's handing a beer to some very young boys. We saw a photo of a hairy leg on a bunk bed with a bunch of kids. It's not. It seems very vague.
What's with these guys and their
unsubstantiated.
hairy legs and kids and?
But like, didn't he guzzle cum like of a horse? Like, I didn't go down that rabbit hole, but apparently that's true. Like, he had his stomach pumped because he drank a bunch of horse jizz. Like,
No, they say that that's like a rumor that goes around every like 5 years.
well, I saw like articles. I know that everything I see on the internet is totally true. It couldn't possibly be fake.
I mean, hey, who knows? I don't know.
It looks very like it looked like an old article.
Space lasers,
library,
Maybe you know what? They probably just, when they got him to the emergency room, they said they couldn't say it was from the high school football team, so they made up the horse story.
I'm gonna look it up right now, and I'm gonna look on Snopes because they're really.
You can always rely on Snopes.
Yes, I mean they're just such good. Oh,
checkers.
Snopes said no.
Oh, then it's got to be fake. Then
I mean, those guys are so ethical.
Yeah, if the fact check says, like it is unconfirmed that all the semen pumped from his stomach was from a horse.
Oh, so only some of it was like that's
mostly false.
Mostly, yeah.
I mean, I don't know. This is a great headline. Local man's stomach pumped after neighborhood dare goes wrong.
Oh no.
Yeah,
we support animal rights here. And I feel like I should contact PETA about this.
We're laughing all the way to hell. Like, it's pretty fun.
Oh man, that's good.
Well, so here we are, just being rock stars, punk rocking it up.
Thanks for coming on, Tatiana. Anything else? So we got the counterparty thecounterparty.com. That's where everybody should go to get tickets, correct?
Thecounterparty.com. I like that's along the bottom.
Yeah,
I'm
cool.
glad you guys brought me on. I want to hang with you more. Are you guys
What kind of
gonna
media
come to-
opportunities do we have at this show? I think we should all go. Don't you
I
guys
think we
agree?
should. I mean, what are you gonna do? Like rot away like the freezing?
Listen, these guys are from Baltimore, okay? Let me just tell you, if you're not familiar with Miami and you're only familiar with like Philly or DC or Baltimore, New York, those are shithole cities. Miami is actually nice. Like
Well, I
I
love
swear,
Miami.
like you take one of us down there and you drive around, you're like, where's the homeless encampment? Where's the garbage piles? Like, where's the burnout buildings? Like they
Well,
it
there's
actually is
some
nice.
homeless, and
They're all in the Cuban neighborhoods. They've been
Yeah, well, they could just
segmented
like,
over
keep
there.
them away from my neighborhood, and like I'm kind of okay with that. Like I know that's not nice to say, but like if it's somewhere else and I don't really see it that often, it's not as much of a problem. Like in LA, you could be, Beverly Hills, and they've got like homeless everywhere, and they're like
Yeah.
spitting on you, and they're really aggressive. I went to LA a few years ago, and they had like some Asian dude. It was like out of a movie, like and he was like just taking trash and like smashing it all over his face, and like this was all greasy. He was like, wah, wah! Like it was so weird. He wasn't even speaking English. I have no idea what he was doing. I mean, it was entertaining. It made for a story, but like I don't really want to run into that when I'm trying to go to a conference or something.
How is the Haitian cuisine, and does it include cats and dogs?
Well, keep your cat to yourself, sir.
All right.
No, I don't mess with the Haitian food. I feel like it's probably not very good. Not to be mean, but like Haiti isn't like it's not a very advanced country. So how good could it be?
Oh, Caribbean food is awesome, and there's
Well,
no reason
yeah,
why
Caribbean
Haitian
food, but like
couldn't be
Haiti's like the
fantastic.
worst place there. Not like no offense to Haitians, but like it is. It's a murder capital. It's really, really messed up.
That's
So
a
I don't
horrible-
think that they've had a lot of time to cook and really develop anything.
Jamaican food is good, but yeah, I don't
Yeah,
know about
because
Haitian
nobody's
food.
messing with them. They got weed. They got plenty of time to cook over there.
Yeah, and if you have weed as part of your culture, like your food's got to be top notch.
Yeah, or it doesn't even actually have
I guess,
to be.
like, yeah.
At least to eat, No, I feel bad for the Haitian people. There's a lot of people suffering over there, and it's very hard for them. Like in the Bahamas and stuff, they come over to work, and they're hard workers. So it's just the country has been really devastated. So I hope that they kind of find solutions and stuff. I don't think that the Hillary Clinton involvement was particularly helpful.
Anything involved with the Clinton Foundation, forget about it. So,
Well,
Yeah.
at least they had Bob Barr representing Baby Doc Duvalier in some of their troubles. So, like, at least we sent our best libertarian down there to, I forget
Work
what he
it
helped
out.
with.
Well,
Helped
I
defend
know.
Baby Doc Duvalier.
I don't know anything about Bob Barr though. Is that
very failed libertarian presidential candidate,
oh okay? Before
but
my
not as bad as Chase Oliver. But
I mean, you gotta give Chase credit that everybody hates his guts and he's just going out there and trying to do it. Like,
Let's
I
do
admire
let's do a quick comparison: Bob Barr versus Chase Oliver. Okay, which was a federal prosecutor?
Bob Barr, yeah. So yeah, I guess
which
Chase isn't as bad. He's
who
harmless.
voted? Which one voted to create the TSA?
Yeah, true. Good point, Babs. So
Which one voted for the Patriot Act?
yeah, one
You could just
actually
go
had.
on and on.
Yeah.
Which one voted for the Iraq War? You're like, this guy. Like, we can only imagine what mayhem Chase Oliver would do in office. Bob Barr, has a history.
You think it's that far? He would cause mayhem? I mean, I feel like his like trans thing is bad, and then like his COVID thing was pretty like lame. But I mean, I don't know. It doesn't seem like that much of a demon.
I'm sure there'd be worse tyrants to have rule over us.
Yeah. Well, either way, I guess maybe I just feel bad when everybody's making fun of somebody and stuff like that. I don't think that's cool. Look at all my speakers there. I hope all
We got great
actually
speakers.
we're adding some new people. You got my my girl Liz Reitzig over there. She's actually still coming this weekend. Her and Rachel Mills are on their way here. So
Awesome.
yeah, we're still gonna have like a little mini
Mark
party
Bueno,
here in
Rachel
Miami.
Mills, the Free Knots. They were at the party at the Free Ross party at the LP convention.
Oh, they're
Correct.
the band, right? Yeah, they were really
Yep.
good.
Yep, they're like our like hip hop side, and Alex is just super cool. Both of them are great guys. So yeah, we've even got my friend from the Barracks Legend Foundation. We're doing some stuff for the veterans because they come back and everybody's like, "Fuck you." That's not cool.
Veterans of what? Veterans of the
any
drug
war, any war, any kind of war that there is. They're like veterans that, made the mistake of going to serve and now they're back and they're sad. So, and I can appreciate that. I think that people
Just
like, I wish people didn't join the military, but I can understand why they think that they're doing good things. So,
but these days we've got the internet, so you really should, before you go invade another country, just Google it. Just maybe.
Yeah.
Well, the recruitment numbers are really low. That's why I feel like going to the anti-war rally, it's like, okay, dummies, you just want to be like, drafted. I mean, all the women are like, oh, equal rights. Yeah, just wait until you get some equal rights, bitch. Like, you're gonna be crying.
I want to be back in the kitchen.
Yeah, I mean, well, I think that a lot of women are.
I'm a feminist.
In the kitchen
what kind of resistance would there be if they even implemented a draft? Which I don't think they would, because they have unlimited money for contractors and robots. But if they did, would people care, or would they be proud of little Johnny and send him off?
No, they would definitely care. People are not going to go for. That's when I think you'll actually see something go on.
They didn't care in World War I or World War II. I mean, I guess a lot of people did care.
Patriotic then, and they didn't have the internet, and they were just like all asleep, and it was easier to brainwash people.
Couldn't they do it? Let's just say hypothetically, there's a nuclear bomb incident. It might be a false flag, might not be, but it's blamed Russia. How many people would completely support a full draft?
Anybody would. I can't imagine anybody getting into that.
I think if you scared them enough, like Bab said, that's the thing about World War I, Vietnam. Not really Vietnam. Let's say like World War I.
The government was okay back then. Like, nobody thinks that they're like, who's happy in this country right now? We're the most miserable people in the world.
Yeah, but if they can spin it like it's not about the government, it's about defending your life, basically. Like, your life is in danger if we don't fight the aliens. Like, what if it's
just remember how bloodthirsty people were on September 12th and on, right? Like, were just I'm sure we all felt it, like some kind of like a need for vengeance after something that horrible, but pretty bad.
Well, I don't know, guys. Let's keep our fingers crossed. Pack your bags. Get your bikini bods ready. I would like to see everybody in Miami, January 25th and 26th. Maybe I'll.
What's that dinging sound? Is this a cam show?
Huh?
What is that dinging sound?
Oh, I my thing is just going off. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Thought we were on a cam show.
I'm paying like $5 per foot shot. Actually, my friend, she just wrote me and she said a little while ago, she said, oh, some random guy messaged me and he offered me $500 for my foot pictures. I'm like, yo, I'll send you my foot pictures.
Yeah.
What's the problem?
I'll send mine.
Just download random foot pictures from the internet and send them on.
Like, I mean, even if somebody's looking at your feed, do you really care? I feel like that. I don't like sex work. I'm not a fan for myself. I feel like it's not really to be encouraged. I mean, if people want to do it, okay, but like not like, my number one go-to. But footwork, dude, that's gotta
be okay. Business idea.
Footwork is real work.
Business idea. Hear me out. Okay. You create an AI bot that not only that responds to these perverts' requests, right? And under the guise of being whatever their thing is, right? And the AI generates a response, accepts the transactions, and gives them stupid videos of feet or whatever.
I don't.
They have like 4 toes on them.
Actually, that might be a problem. Is the
what do you think?
But maybe you get like a bonus for it, right? Like if you're missing a toe. So before we go, one last thing. So I used to manage a recording studio in New York known as Chung King. It was like a legendary place, super cool. And, we fell on tough times, right? Because the music industry is like terrible. But anyway, so my old boss's apartment, they turned into a foot worship palace. And so it was like a bordello for feet. And if you looked at their website, it was fwp.com or Foot Worship Palace, whatever it was. And they would be like smelly feet, like sweaty feet, all these different kinds of things. And so then they would have foot worship parties, right? And people would pay big money, but like my horny nerd friends from like the engineering guys, they would go and like the girls would be like, oh, you just want to lap dance? Thank God. And they were relieved because they were just so sick of these damn foot perverts. So there's a market for that. I'm just saying, if times get tough, like those tootsies go for big money, especially if you just get them AI generated.
And you were wondering what you'd be doing on the compound after the revolution.
Yeah, there's your next talent.
I mean, I feel like people should be worried about things like other than like foot worshiping during that period of time. But like,
Hey,
I guess you know what,
be
that's
surprised.
not necessarily true.
That
Yeah,
could be, you know what? That could be just what gets a lot of people through those difficult times ahead.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
well, I
you
could
gotta
be
have good
basically
morale.
doing humanity a service by providing footwork.
An AI. No, send them an AI.
All right, fine. Well, we'll look into that on my team over here at Tatiana Coin. That's going to be our next edition. We're going to just add some tootsies for subscribers. All right, this is going wrong.
All right. On that note, let's move. Let's move the party on over to the after hours.
All right.
Tatiana, thanks so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me, guys. See you later. Bye.
See ya.
All right.
Yeah, so that was fun.
Counterparty.
Yeah,
Counterparty.
Dude, we're going,
Counterparty.
right? Come on.
So Miami in January, yeah.
25th, 26th.
Yeah,
Get it on your calendar. Take off work. Call in sick. Whatever
let's
you
go.
gotta do.
Get in on that.
Mark your calendars.
Can we buy a table for that?
Let's figure
I
it
think
out.
we should. I think we could. I don't see why not.
Let's go.
All right.
It'd be a lot more fun than going to DC. I guarantee it.
Absolutely. Yeah, I've been to Miami 3 times now, I think.
Yeah, I've never been.
It's
All right,
fun.
let's do it. Let's go. All right, let's get out of here. Speaking of going,
thanks everybody for listening. We are going to head over to the after hours. If you want to see the after hours, you can go to our Patreon, patreon.com/punkrockliberatorians. And if you sign up for the lowest, even the lowest tier of $3 a month, you get access to our after hours program. We also have t-shirts available at libertariancountry.com. You can use code PRL to save 10%. And yeah, until next time, live free
or die.